Bobby, we have an all-time list that just came out.
Yeah, this is from the Dallas Morning News, and this was orchestrated really by Calvin Watkins. And Calvin had gotten input from a number of different people. He got input from Joseph Hoyt, their other beat writer. He also got input from former beat writers David Moore, Jean-Jacques Taylor, Tim Kalishaw, and he also spoke with Brad Sham and John Wooten, a former personnel executive with the Cowboys who's up for election as a contributor for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I saw Calvin in the press box on Sunday, and I asked him, I said, all right, we're going to talk about this week. So before we dive into these names and start debating it, I got to know, how did you tell people to stack this? Was this supposed to be based on legacy? Was this supposed to plain performance? And he's like, left it up to them. Told them, obviously, include accomplishments, personal accomplishments, how they were on the field, different things like that. But basically, he left it up to them to determine what that meant for them in terms of best, and just said, these are kind of the criteria that we're going to work with. So we've got the top 10. We're going to go down the list. We'll go each block of 10 and then kind of react to whatever's within that. Here's the top 10, 1 through 10. Number 1. Any guesses who number 1 would be for the Dallas Cowboys?
Jerry told KNC Friday his number 1 would be Roger, so that's who I will go with.
Yeah, I would assume it is Roger.
Again.
Ring it up. Captain Comeback, Roger Staubach is the number 1 Cowboy. Then number 2, Larry Allen as the number 1 90s Cowboy. Bob Lilly is number 3, defensive lineman. Mr. Cowboy. Number 4.
Bob Lilly was 3?
Yep, Mr. Cowboy. Number 4, Emmitt Smith. Number 5, linebacker Chuck Howley. Number 6, defensive back Mel Renfro. 7, defensive tackle Randy White. 8, Tony Dorsett. 9, Troy Aikman. And then rounding out the top 10, DeMarcus Ware. So Michael Irvin, the only triplet left out of the top 10.
DeMarcus Ware 10?
DeMarcus Ware got number 10 on this list.
Okay, I'm just going to write that as a note. Jot it.
Because, I mean, the thing you see with all these others are a lot of big-time, January accomplishments. DeMarcus Ware obviously had some success when he went to Denver, but
was
not a lot.
Was DeMarcus Ware better than Michael Irvin?
Okay.
DeMarcus
Ware was pretty great. Yeah, probably.
Well, so was Michael Irvin.
Yeah, no, I'm saying, yeah, probably.
And if I'm valuing, this is me, and everyone talks about Michael in this same vein, what Michael brought in terms of all the intangibles besides the scissors is more than any other player, arguably in the history of this organization.
So,
leader, engine, all that stuff. I know D. Ware. Got his leadership traits and qualities, but no one talks about him in the same sense as Mike in terms of being the motor.
No, look, this may not mean anything. Just maybe it does, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. DeMarcus did get in the Hall of Fame on fewer years of eligibility than Michael.
It was a very complicated situation for Michael.
Totally get it. Michael, I think Michael thinks this. I'm pretty sure he said it. That him going to ESPN helped get him in the Hall of Fame.
It helped change his perception for people. I would have Irvin ahead of Ware on a list like this, but I do think that just in a vacuum, Ware was probably better at what he did.
Oh, okay.
When Michael retired, I think most people had him right behind Jerry as a wide receiver, and maybe that's
where I'm going. On the, what are we defining DeMarcus as? Edge?
Yeah, pass rusher.
Yeah, I think Michael Irvin would be higher up on the all-time wideout list than D. Ware on the edge list. Now, I've always said the all-time wide receiver list is weaker than you think.
Yeah,
I think over the past 3 to 5 years, it's gotten stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So it may just be who he's going up against, but I think Michael would be higher up than Ware.
Right. Can you even sniff DeMarcus into the top 10 of all-time edge rushers?
Yeah, I think you can. DeMarcus Ware led the NFL in sacks twice. He was like a consistent 16 sack year guy. I mean, he was.
I don't think
and it is in an era where they were not passing as much as they have.
But you're talking about, you're talking about all-time pass rushers from Bruce Smith to LT.
Yeah. To me, he's on the fringe of that. Yeah, to me, he's on the fringe of top 10.
I would have to look, but my guts tell me no. All right.
That's the top 10. Number 11.
Love you, DeMarcus.
Michael Irvin. 12. Maybe a little high. Okay, this is where we're starting to see, all right, championship influence is clearly a part of this. Number 11, Michael Irvin. Number 12, Charles Haley. Number 13, Rayfield Wright. 14, Drew Pearson. 15, linebacker Leroy Jordan. 16, running back Don Perkins. 17, guard Zach Martin. 18, safety Cliff Harris. 19, wide receiver Bob Hayes. And then rounding out the top 20, defensive back Cornell Green. A lot of 60s guys in here. Haley at 12, obviously he was a big-time impact in terms of rushing the passer and gave them an element they didn't have. But again, if we're just talking about what were they on the field, I don't know how you can say that Haley's performance was the 12th best all time for the Cowboys.
5 years here. The sack numbers were 6, 4, 12.5, 10.5. Again, many of those voters would say he was the pendulum swinger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, two pendulum swingers, right? Dion and Charles.
Any other comments about anybody in there? Zach Martin being 17.
That's a little low, man.
For Zach?
Yeah, I think so. You haven't said Witten yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think it's a little low for Zach.
I can't speak to the old school guys, so it's hard for me to say that it's low for Zach because I don't know those other guys' games, like in terms of watching them.
Let's go 21 through 30 here. Number 21, Deion Sanders. He comes in ahead of Witten. 22, Darren Woodson. I don't think I would have Deion ahead of Darren Woodson.
No.
If you're just talking about what he did for the Cowboys.
Would you have Haley ahead of Woodson?
Man, they're close to me. Nate Newton has said this before. I think we mentioned it to Shireen Williams when we were at the Combine, and she was like, I'm going to use that line next year in the Hall of Fame debate, which is, Nate said, you talk about all these different packages that teams have now, and they're nickel packages. Well, he said, we didn't have packages. We had Darren Woodson. Darren Woodson would just do whatever we needed, and that would change the landscape of the defense.
Dion was 5 years here. You were talking about the toe with Burrow.
The turf toe, yep.
Kind of connected to this. And Darren Woodson, I think I'd have Darren Woodson over Dion. Him versus Haley. Yeah. Because you know Charles Haley is a definite, true, no doubt Hall of Famer. Darren Woodson obviously is not in yet. I know a lot of people here believe he should be in, but 12 years versus 5.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And I mean, even that 5, like Dion, I think he played.
I'm talking about versus Charles, though.
I
agree,
yeah.
Darren over Dion. I'm trying to stack it up against Haley for the pendulum that was swung.
Yeah, and on that, to be
leading
fair,
to titles.
On the first 92 team, Darren was a factor. He was one of the guys playing, but he was not a starter either. So he didn't become a starter till the 93 team. Haley was like kind of the push in 92. And a lot of the guys we'll talk about that were on that team, that Haley was the push for them in terms of he came in and completely told them, like, this is what you do terrible. This is what we know we can push your, almost like Haley gets kind of and it's bigger than this. I don't want to compare them totally, but it's kind of like the way people talk about what Tyson Chandler did when he got here, and he told all the guys, like, we think you're soft around the league. We think you're soft. Like, you guys need to toughen up. This is the top 100 Cowboys according to the Dallas Morning News. We just got to 21 and 22, Deion Sanders and Darren Woodson.
And Pepe, let's get the Tolo response so far.
Yeah, the 956 has a strong opinion. Emmitt Smith should have been number 1. He has 3 Super Bowl titles and is the all-time leading rusher. 469 says D Ware at number 10 is a joke. And then 972 and 817 both say Irvin has to be ahead of Ware.
Number 23, Don Meredith. Number 24, tight end Jason Witten. 25, defensive end Harvey Martin. 26, cornerback Everson Walls, who will join us on Cowboys Strauss Talk next week.
Yeah, he always gets through because they didn't count sacks or whatever.
And he was considered prickly and a little bit like he's somebody who rubbed some people the wrong way. 26, cornerback Everson Walls. 27, guard tackle Ralph Neely. 28, Tyron Smith. 29, Woo! Guard center Tom Rafferty. And then number 30.
Hang on, Witten versus Tyron.
Well, I mean, this is going to be going back to the who's higher on the all-time, because Witten's clearly going to be higher on the best tight ends of all time than Tyron would be on the best left tackles.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean, Witten's pretty clearly a top 6 or 7.
Stop that.
Tight end.
Okay.
Who
do you think was better at what they did?
Man,
I'd lean Tyron.
Probably Tyron. Tyron, just his health complicates it.
Witten, Jason's consistency is like his strength.
Witten was just textbook. Like, he was so everything. Tyron was all of that and also like an athletic freak.
One's wet and one's dry.
Yeah. I would
I
probably
think of Jason
Witten
more as a Cowboy, But like Tyron Smith, I think people would draft Tyron. If you're having an all-time draft, I think Tyron would go higher than Jason Witten.
Yeah. I probably.
Yeah, I mean, positional value for sure, too. Plays into
it. And then rounding out the top 30, maybe a little bit of a controversial take given some of the Super Bowl winners that are behind here. Number 30, Terrell Owens.
I don't have a problem with it. I was wondering how many. I'm concerned with this list. I have a feeling that 07 to 09 Cowboy team, 06 to 09, is going to get a little disrespected.
T.O. was here for 3 years.
And he was that good.
And one of those years was not good, though.
No.
08 was not great.
No, but that 07 year he had, man.
He was the best. He was, to me, if not for the Moss-Brady connection that existed that year, Terrell Owens would have been in the conversation for MVP that year. He was fantastic. All right, 31 through 40. 31, center Mark Stepnoski. 32, D.D. Lewis. Rest in peace. We learned that he passed away this week. 33, wide receiver C.D. Lamb. Little early for Lamb?
Depends who's after him.
34, Ed Too Tall Jones. 35, Thomas Hollywood Henderson. 36, defensive lineman John Dutton. 37, quarterback Danny White. We have not gotten to Romo or Dak yet.
Well, yeah. Let's stop down for a second. Lamb over Romo and Micah. You have not named Micah, right?
No, I've not named Micah.
Right now, today, Micah or Lamb with what they did here.
With what they did here, you could also introduce Micah versus T.O. Because Micah was here for 4, T.O. was here for 3, and Micah was all-pro like every year.
Look, CD's higher on the wide receiver in the middle. Like he's high. He's a higher ranked wide receiver today than Romo was a quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lamb over Romo.
So I'm okay with that. But
Lamb, Micah.
I'm fine with Lamb over Micah. I'm fine with Lamb. CD is a better player than Tony was a quarterback, but Tony, I mean, he saved the damn franchise.
But Micah's better at what they do, Micah or Lamb?
Micah's had more years at the top.
Micah.
Lamb got there about year 3.
Yeah.
38, Eric Williams. 39, Herschel Walker. Herschel Walker is ahead of a lot of people we have not named on this list yet.
Well, look, he was
great.
Thought of, he was the best player on the team. Many may have thought of him because of the Gambler when you watch it, as the best running back in the league. He had 4 years here.
Is it better than Zeke, though?
Well,
he only played 4 years here?
4 years, and then he ended with the final 2. Yeah, 4 years. He ran for 737. Again, different league than Zeke. 737, 891, 1514, then 246 before going. So he basically combined for 900 yards the year he was traded to the Vikings. But there you go. Let's introduce that to the Franklin and Franco injury attorney text line. Herschel or Zeke?
I'm not a huge Zeke guy. I don't think you can have Herschel, unless you're just counting also what he gave you in return, which that would seem a little odd in greatness. But yeah, I would say that Zeke has to be above Herschel Walker to me.
I don't disagree. I don't know Herschel's game. I know.
Well, one of those years you mentioned he had 891 yards. I think he still led the league in scrimmage yards that year because he also had like 700 receiving yards. He was a monster.
His receiving yards were 837, 715, and 500 to start.
Yeah, he was a monster, and he was a true like dual threat.
I'll go Herschel over him just to go ahead.
40, we'll go 40 to 50 now. 40 is Charlie Waters. 41.
Nick Eatman has sent a meme that shows he may not agree with some of these selections. I'm not going to go deeper than that. Reset, Bobby.
We were doing the top 100 Cowboys from the Dallas Morning News. 40 is Charlie Waters, and 41. Cut the music for a sec, Peyton.
Cut the music.
Number 41.
Quarterback, Rain, Dakota, Prescott, above Antonio Romo.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, move on.
Fantastic job, Calvin. List can end there.
No, you can't.
I love you gave him Dirk's number too, 41.
You can't get there. You can't get there.
I would have Romo over Dak.
Yeah.
Now
obviously longevity is Dak's going to blow by him. Already has. Neither one of them was the bastion of health.
This is a problem though. I think 41's Dak, 43 is Romo. 42 in between there. It feels too low to me. Offensive lineman, 6-time Pro Bowler, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Nate Newton.
Oh, here's your homerism.
That's not homer. That to
hanging
me,
out with Nate last night.
To me, Nate, I don't think you could put Nate Newton, Eric Williams, Mark Stepnoski. Those guys all need to be ahead of Romo and Dak. And the only Nate's not. Nate's ahead of Romo, but he's not ahead of Dak. I think Nate should be ahead of Dak.
What are the Tolos saying, Pepe? I know it just lit up at 877-881-1053.
972 says Zach Martin is way too low. 702 says Harvey Martin should be higher. 405 says how is T.O. over Dez. 817 also disagrees with T.O. over Dez. And 214 says Lamb should be over T.O.
That's a good one. Dez. We haven't talked about Dez yet versus T.O.
Yeah, look, I understand the T.O. short term. Right, the fact that he was only here for a couple of years, and it was only but
T.O. was 2 good years and 1 great year.
Well, T.O. at the time was the second best, thought of as the second best receiver in the game. Dez was never 2.
No, but he was probably top 5 for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I mean,
that's fine. It's not 2. It's not like
that's 4. That's more. That's longer time here in Dallas as somebody at the top.
Yeah, I mean, look, T.O.'s an all-time great.
He is.
And he was at his, I guess his peak year was probably his Philadelphia. Was Philadelphia probably his best year?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, Philly, or if it wasn't Philly, one of those years, last year's in San Francisco, he put up some insane numbers while he was in San Francisco.
Dak can still, going back to Dak, he can still convince me. The end of Romo is what's stuck in my mind as what I would trust the most. Obviously, Tony had his choke label and NFC East championships where they lost 3 straight. All those things are there. Dak can still surpass Tony in my mind, and he's on his way to doing that at the beginning of this season, but I'm still going Romo over him.
His 3 best years, by the way, T.O., were 2000 with the Niners, 2001 with the Niners, and 07 with Dallas. Those were the 3 best stat years he had.
I mean, look, if you're going to do the Dak Romo thing, I mean, yeah, you're right. He could still get there, but it's hard for me to look at Romo's 2014 year. That was easily the best year of the 2 quarterbacks, right? Maybe 07.
Ooh, I don't know.
Do you think Dak's
23 Dak
better?
was really good?
Do you think better than 14 Romo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Dak, I'm sorry, what? I was looking
Dak's
at
2023 year
was better than Romo
2014.
And the 2023 was?
That was the MVP runner-up year. And Dak did not have the running game Romo had that year. Passing was secondary to what they were doing with DeMarco Murray. So,
that's right.
All right, rounding out the top 50 here, 44, Darryl Johnston, ahead of 45. Running back, Ezekiel Elliott, 46. Center, Travis Frederick, 47. Tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, 48. Tackle, Mark Tuanay, 49. Guard center, Andre Gerard, 50. Wide receiver, Alvin Harper. We are through 50 names and no Micah Parsons.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Come on.
Is that
I
a little
love Alvin Goval's, but no.
No one's taking Moose Johnston over Micah Parsons.
No.
I mean, I love Moose, but come on now. Like, let's not romanticize too much.
Just to run counter to it, I guess, then, is the greatest Cowboy of all time also about just legacy within the organization potentially and impact and those sort of things? Maybe you look at it and just go, Moose being here for a decade, lead blocking for the all-time leading rusher, like that carries a weight that Micah in 5 years wasn't able to touch, or 4 years.
That doesn't, no. I mean, I respect you introducing that to the argument,
This
but you've probably gone through 15 names that don't deserve there to be. Micah Parsons going to the Hall of Fame. All right, let's not make, if he doesn't get hurt, Micah Parsons is a lockdown Hall of Famer, and there's 15 dudes on that list that should not be above him.
Yeah. I mean, he's, in terms of just pure talent, he would be way up at the top. 50 through 60, or 51 through 60, linebacker Sean Lee, 51. 52, center Dave Manders. 53, defensive tackle Russell Maryland. 54, running back Calvin Hill. 55, edge rusher Micah Parsons. 56, tight end Jay Novacek. 57, cornerback Terrence Newman. Ahead of 58, wide receiver Dez Bryant. I don't know that I'd have Terrence Newman above Dez Bryant.
No.
Boy, Terrence
was good.
Terrence was good, and Terrence is. They got rid of Terrence thinking he was toast. And
Yeah,
went
his
on to
career
have
went on for
about,
another decade.
8 years and what? It was crazy.
59, cornerback Kevin Smith. 60, safety Roy Williams. Any other reactions there?
People are asking, have you mentioned Bob Hayes yet?
Yes, Bob Hayes was up in the top 20.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Because they were asking, where's Bob?
61 tackle Flozell Adams, 62 wide receiver Lance Rensel, 63 safety Bill Bates, 64 tight end receiver Frank Clark, 65 corner Herb Adderley, who hated the Cowboys when he left here, didn't want to even be remembered as being associated with them. 66 defensive lineman Larry Cole, 67 defensive tackle Leroy Glover, 68 defensive end Jim Jeffcoat, 69 defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence, 70 defensive lineman Leon Lett. Leon Lett was two-time All-Pro.
When you told me that, I was pretty stunned.
He was really
what a
really
shame.
good.
Just what a shame for him in terms of what he'll be remembered
Perception.
for.
71 guard John Nyland, 72 quarterback Eddie LeBaron, 73 Jethro Pugh, the defensive tackle, 74 running back Preston Pearson, 75 Pettis Norman, the tight end, 76 guard Herb Scott, 77 safety James Washington, 78 defensive lineman Chad Hennings, 79 Walt Garrison, the running back, 80 defensive end linebacker Greg Ellis. Nothing there?
Nope.
81 cornerback Trayvon Diggs. 82.
How many O linemen from the Romo era made this? Or have you met? You've only mentioned Flozell, right?
Tyron.
Flozell's been in there. Tyron's been in there.
I was thinking more the early side.
Earlier side, it's just been
So
Flozell.
no Davis? Gerard Kozier?
Gerard was 49. Gerard was up there. 82 Tony Casillas. 83 kicker Dan Bailey ahead of Brandon Aubrey, which after Sunday, Calvin Watkins did tell me, said, you can stay on the record. I said that Brandon Aubrey is now ahead of him on the list.
Okay.
84 running back Marion Barber. 85 receiver Amari Cooper. 86 tackle Pat Donovan. 87 Michael Downs. 88 Brady James. 89 Butch Johnson. And then rounding it out, 90 defensive end George Andre. 91 Eugene Lockhart. 92 Brandon Aubrey. 93 tight end Doug Cosby. 94 long snapper Dale Hellestray. 95 running back Dan Reeves. 96 defensive tackle Jay Ratliff. That feels too low to me. 97 running back Dwayne Thomas. 98 wide receiver Tony Hill. 99 defensive end Tony Tolbert. And 100 our second long snapper LP Lattisaur.
Yeah, you got to have, I don't know. Colombo needs to be on there. Our boy.
Leonard Davis was really good here.
Leonard Davis needs to be on there.
The top 100 Cowboys list of all time from the Dallas Morning News.